Hi, I'm Noel D'Allacco, host of Live with Noel here on LMC-TV, and I have an exciting show planned for us today. So stay tuned and let's have some fun. I love interesting people, and today's guest is very interesting to me. It's my good friend, Stephanie Mattera. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Noel. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much for being here. Stephanie and I met years ago through my nonprofit organization, Operation Prom. A friend put us in touch with each other,
Yes.
right? And at that time, you were a glambassador, right?
I was.
Which is super interesting still to this day. Tell us about your role as a glambassador.
Great. So I was a glambassador for Glamour magazine for 6 years, and in that role, I get to try the most amazing new beauty products and fashion products and write reviews, and some of them would end up online in advertorials. And the most memorable experience, I would say, is I was in a video for Macy's Style & Co. Denim.
Oh.
So I was one of 4 of the girls chosen around the country to represent the magazine. It was exciting.
See, there are things I still don't even know about you. You're so interesting. And then at that time, you were also in the pageant industry.
Yeah, exactly.
And tell us some of the titles that you've held.
Great. So at that time, I was Miss New York International 2009. And then last year, I was Miss Connecticut United States.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. And you are constantly keeping busy, kind of like myself, right? There's always a million and one things going on. So currently, what have you been up to?
So currently, I'm teaching at New York University, which I'm really happy to be there. I'm teaching in their PR graduate program.
That's great.
And I graduated from that same program in 2009. So it's kind of that full circle moment where now I'm giving back and helping students.
Yeah. Well, I definitely know that well, being a professor myself at the College of Westchester. And, you know, I mean, what a great profession it is.
I know.
But I love your philanthropy work, too. And everybody knows who knows me. That's, you know, always a very, you know, soft spot for me, people that give back. And in addition to you teaching, you are also now a representative for the Mayor's Pet Alliance?
Yes. So for 5 years now, I've been with the Mayor's Alliance for New York City's Animals, and we're a coalition of 150 plus rescues and shelters in the greater New York City area.
Fantastic.
And we're striving to end the euthanasia of healthy and treatable pets living in shelters.
Wow. So tell me more about that, because I have a yellow Labrador who is my daughter. Let's just
Yes,
face it,
of course.
My Roxy. She drives me a little crazy, I'm not going to lie. But she's a great dog. And you have dogs yourself.
I do. I'm up to 3 now and a cat.
Oh, my gosh.
That's it. I'm at my quota for a while.
So in that role, working for the Pet Alliance, for the mayor of New York City, what exactly are you doing, and what types of events do you partake in?
Great. So we're actually a nonprofit organization, so we're not affiliated with the government of New York City.
Okay.
But we received endorsement back in 2003 when we were founded by Mayor Bloomberg at the time.
Okay.
So that was the genesis of the name. And what's really exciting is he loved animals, and his daughter Georgina loves animals. So it made great sense for them to support us and kind of give us that backing.
Right.
The events that we do are pretty much live adoption events where we have dogs and cats that are looking for new homes featured, and they're really successful for us. About 75% of those animals find homes.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
I always feel, you know, like when people say, I want to get a pet, I want to get a cat, I want to get a dog, where do I buy one? I kind of like cringe, you know, every time people say that. It's so important.
Yes.
How do you really, you know, how do you teach people that they shouldn't buy, they should adopt?
Thank you so much for bringing that up. We try to tell people that the shelters and rescues know the animals so much better than a breeder knows them, or if you buy them from a pet store, you know, which we really do not believe in, because most often they come from puppy mills. But the rescues and shelters, they spend so much time with these animals that they can really help you find the best fit. And another way we tackle that is at our events, we have the Department of Health. We have the Office of Emergency Management.
Okay.
So we try to educate people on the issues around animals and how to be a responsible pet parent.
Oh, that's important, because people think sometimes, oh, yeah, I'm just going to go out and get, and they don't realize how much work it is to own a pet.
It is like having a child.
It absolutely is.
That doesn't grow up. So imagine
Right.
a 4-year-old and you have them for at least 15 years if you're lucky. So.
Yeah. I mean, not that I want to, you know, talk about anything too emotional or upsetting, but before Roxy, and with Roxy, I had another Labrador, Zoe, who unfortunately was diagnosed with leukemia, and she was only 5. And the treatment for that was very, very costly. And we did get pet insurance when we
Good.
first got our dogs. So it was important that we had that. But I think, people don't think long term, like, what if, God forbid
Yes.
something happens, in
Right.
addition to the food and the toys and the treats.
I know. You really
Yeah.
have to be prepared, and you're so smart to have gotten the health insurance
Yeah.
because they're like people, and
Yeah.
their bills can get pretty hefty. So
Yeah. And tell us, what are your dogs' names? I didn't even ask. Yeah, I know they're cute names.
Kiko, which means blessing in Japanese. He's a Japanese chin rescue. Romeo, he's also a Japanese chin rescue. Zoom Zoom, who is a new addition that I adopted in July. He zooms around, so the shelter named him Zoom Zoom. He doesn't walk like a normal dog, and I didn't have the heart to change his name.
Aw.
And a cat named Sophie.
Aw, very cute. And if people want to find out more information, where can they go?
AnimalAllianceNYC.org.
That's great. That's great. And I'm going to make sure that I put some information about Stephanie and about the
you.
Pet Alliance on my website, noeldallacco.com. And of course, you can follow me on social media at Noel D'Allacco on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Live with Noel. I'm Stephanie Mattera, and I've officially stolen the microphone from Noel D'Allacco, who's seated to my right. We're great friends. We've known each other for over 6 years.
Yeah.
She's an incredible person, gives back to her local community, and I'm so excited about your new show.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to get involved in philanthropy.
Well, you know what? I think it goes back to several years ago. Even just being in high school.
Yeah.
When there's these different activities going on, whether it's a bake sale or something at school, I just always wanted to be part of it. I always felt like it's important to give back to your local community. To the people that live where you live,
Yes.
and it just stuck with me all these years.
That's great. So you could have gone in so many directions. There's so many causes out there and so many issues that need awareness. Why did you choose helping disadvantaged youth have the prom experience?
Well, it actually kind of just fell into my lap, I like to say. I was an event planner when I was in college, and I kept meeting with brides and their bridesmaids who were purchasing these very expensive dresses they were never going to wear again, right? You've been there. Never wear them again. As much as you think you're going to wear them, you never do. And I said, I grew up in Yonkers. Yonkers born and raised. And I remember going to prom, and there were some students who had difficulty affording. And just looking at those bridesmaids' dresses, some of them are gorgeous. Some of them not so much. But I thought to myself, we can take these bridesmaids' dresses and we can repurpose them and give them to girls who maybe can't afford to go to prom.
Yes.
So I went to my former high school, Saunders in Yonkers, and I donated some dresses, met 3 girls that were in need that year. This is going back 12 years. And, nobody was doing it in my community. Nobody was doing dress collections. And I said, okay, this is for me. I'll do it.
That's so great. That's what I love about you, Noel. You're such a can-do person, and you continuously challenge yourself. You went from radio now to TV, and also you're a professor, and I find that so exciting that you also give back to your local community in that way. So tell us about your class at the College of Westchester.
Yeah, well, I love teaching at the College of Westchester. It's a lot of fun. The best part about it is that I'm going in there and I'm teaching business. And I always tell the students, I was a psych major, my undergraduate degree over at Concordia College. And, I always felt like I wanted to help people. And that's why I did psychology. Then realized it wasn't for me. So I took off a few years, did Operation Prom, had some other jobs in between, and said, you know what? I'm a business person. I like the business world. Even though it's the nonprofit business, I like business. So I went back for my master's at Mercy and took some business courses, and now I'm teaching business, which I love, sales and marketing over at the College of Westchester.
Well, it's great that you bring that up because a lot of people don't realize you need to run a nonprofit like a for-profit. It's just that the mission is different.
Exactly, because look, you're selling the nonprofit. I'm selling Operation Prom, on a daily basis, and there's marketing, there's sales, there's just everything about the business world, especially fundraising, of course, is involved with a nonprofit.
Well, I'm so excited to see what the future holds for you. Congratulations on your new show, and thank you for having me as your co-host today.
Oh, my goodness. No, thank you. Thank you for being here. And if anybody wants more information about me, you can always visit my website, noeldallacco.com, and you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Noel D'Allacco. We'll be right back. Okay, so with the holidays coming up, I decided that I wanted to pick out some of my favorite products that I have around the house and talk about them. And Stephanie, I don't know if you've ever heard or seen any of these, but hopefully I introduce you and all of our viewers to some really cool products.
Yes.
So the first one that I have is actually what I'm wearing right now, lip gloss.
Nice.
And this is by a company called The Organic Face. I don't know if you're like me, Stephanie, but I really try to only use organic and natural products. How about yourself?
Exactly, and also ones that are not tested on animals.
Absolutely, yes. So I really like The Organic Face. You could go to their website, theorganicface.com. Not only do they have lip glosses, but they have all types of makeup, eyeshadows, blushes, foundations. And I think this makes the perfect stocking stuffer.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
That's very creative.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of not testing products on animals, have you been to Lush?
Yes, I have.
Yes,
I like Lush.
I love Lush. So this was actually something that they sent me to try because it is organic and all natural. Sorry for that crinkling in the microphone. It is a shea butter bar, and you just kind of rub it like that on wherever you have maybe a little bit of a callus or dry skin.
Wow.
And I love it. Smell it.
Oh, that smells wonderful.
Yeah. You've shopped there before?
I have. I love their soaps.
Yeah, they have great soap. So again, a really great stocking stuffer, or, because they have so many products in the store, just other things you can even, give as gifts for people around the holiday season. And sticking with the theme of animals, and also local, I should mention that the Lush store that sent this to me was the store in the Westchester Mall. But sticking with Westchester, I know you're going to love this.
That is adorable.
No cards.
It actually looks kind of like my dog Kiko, black and white.
It does look like Kiko. It does look like Kiko. So I think no cards and stationery make a great gift. This is from a friend of mine, Laura Damiano Designs. And again, you can visit her website, lauradamianodesigns.com. And not only does she do note cards and custom stationery, you can also get invitations from her. Thank you cards, wedding invitations, things like that. But I love this one. She sent this to me and, right up my alley with the pets. And I always write people little note cards and say, I love dogs.
You really just can't go wrong giving someone a thank you note. We don't do it enough today.
You're right.
And there's something so special about getting a note in the mail.
I was just talking to a student maybe about a week ago about that because, as we're teaching our students, since we both teach, when you go on an interview, you should send a thank you card. Everybody's sending thank you emails.
Exactly.
I think you should follow up with a thank you card.
Makes you stand out.
It does. It does. And, okay, so I had a baby about 5.5 months ago.
Yes.
These.
Yes.
Okay. Now, these are called Psy bands. I don't care what anybody says. If it's mental or not, they totally work. These are acupressure bands that you wear on your wrists. I first saw them on Shark Tank.
Oh.
So the owner of Psy bands was on Shark Tank. Do you watch Shark Tank?
I do, actually.
Who doesn't?
It's so
That's
exciting.
Such a great show. I love that show. These saved me. I was nauseous. Everybody's like, oh, you're only nauseous like the first trimester. Yeah, I was nauseous like the whole time. And these really saved me. These worked. Again, it's the acupressure right on your pulse point. The other thing that people say these are very good for is if anybody is going through chemotherapy and is suffering from any of those symptoms after chemo, being nauseous, these really have helped people who are going through chemotherapy.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So that's a very thoughtful gift to give someone if you know someone who's battling cancer.
Yeah, absolutely. And they come in a lot of different, patterns and colors. And again, it might be an interesting gift to give somebody who's on maternity or pregnant, but they definitely work. I'm telling you, they were great. Another product that I got after being pregnant was the waist cincher. Now, this is really popular. It's been a trend. Have you noticed that people are doing waist training?
Yes,
Really
it
popular.
is.
Really popular.
Yes.
So this is the Amia waist cincher, and again, this is something that works really, really well. And I have a great book for all the tweens in your life. You have any tweens in your life?
I
Nieces,
do.
nephews?
I have a sister actually who's only 16.
Oh my gosh, perfect. I know she might be a little bit old for this, but a good friend of mine wrote this book a couple months back, Charles Curtis. He wrote Strange Country Day, and it's a really fun novel for the tween in your life, boys and girls, about some kids who are athletes, who are playing sports, and they notice they have special powers.
That's adorable.
Yeah. And Charles is a local author. He's right in Manhattan, and you can pick up his book right on barnesandnoble.com.
That's great.
And lastly, but not least, another one of my favorite products, and I know Stephanie is going to love this.
Yes.
We have a beautiful necklace. I'll try not to drop the box. From my good friends over at Auburn Jewelry, and the website is auburn-jewelry.com. And Samantha Levine is the owner, and she made me this very adorable, custom Operation Prom charm necklace. I don't know if
That's
you guys
beautiful.
can see that.
Wow.
It's red with the recycled logos that we have for our dresses at Operation Prom. And a portion of the proceeds for the Operation Prom necklace will be donated to Operation Prom. You can also create your own necklace with Samantha. She does any type of style design that you want. So maybe you can put Kiko's face on one of these. Yeah, she has a lot
Or
of
paw print.
Or paw prints, yes, absolutely. And not only that, but she does cufflinks and a variety of other pieces of jewelry. And again, I think that makes a perfect holiday gift,
Yes.
birthday gift. It's just really cute.
And the best part is it gives back.
Exactly.
That's the best part.
Exactly. Get your Operation Prom pendant for sure. So here's just some of my favorite products. I'll have more on my social media sites, so you can always visit me at Noel D'Allacco on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'll post these, and in addition to a few others. Stephanie, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
It was great having you. Thanks everyone.